And I just impulsively said, I want balloons. I want a lot of balloons.
And you just had a bunch of balloons?
We just had a ton of balloons in the room, right?
Yeah.
Which just, it made it really fun.
The things that we did off camera during the pandemic, there was a lot that happened off camera during the pandemic, but like just to be able to dive into different interests and just explore the city when it was shut down was just a fun thing to be able to do that we probably wouldn't have done any other time.
Lesson 9, Finding the Joy. Don't forget that you've agreed to be on this show because you want something. You're acting out of desire, and by a strange course of events, you've ended up in this ridiculous situation. If you maintain a sense of wonder and curiosity about this strange new chapter, you can move forward with joy.
During the filming process, make a conscious effort to be joyful, both while the cameras are shooting and when they're away. Consider the hobbies or pastimes that bring you the most joy, and find time for them when the cameras aren't around. When you are shooting, you can creatively find ways to keep things light and fun. So Bennett, do you have an example of a time where you were on camera that was joyful for you?
Yeah, totally. So, every show, or most shows have a formula, right? So they'll need a very specific, you'll be reaching a milestone for a specific episode. They'll need you to do something for that episode, right? And typically they'll want to have some degree of input from you as to what are we gonna do this time around? We need this, but what would make this yours, which I appreciate. So there was one time when my partner and I think we were going to have some kind of date or check-in at our apartment, and it was supposed to this was when there was a hurricane predicted to hit the city, right? Yeah. And we were supposed to go out for the night. But instead, because of this hurricane, they said, okay, we just have to order in. We're sorry, what can we do? How would you like us to decorate, or how would you like us to make this an interesting setup for you guys? And I just impulsively said, I want balloons. I want a lot of balloons.
And you just had a bunch of balloons?
We just had a ton of balloons in the room, right? Yeah. Which just, it made it really fun. Just having something so simple as having the presence of a bunch of balloons in the room with us. It was a reminder of okay, this is really silly. Yeah. We're just in this random apartment that neither of us ever would have lived in without this context, eating pizza that we've ordered in, and suddenly we're surrounded by a bunch of balloons.
And you'll never forget that.
Yeah. Totally. And, I think it's, I think rather than constantly trying to have fun while in front of the cameras, because that's obviously easier said than done. There will be moments when you're stressed out. There will be moments when you're experiencing a serious sensory overload, right? Trying to find ways to bring joy to your on-camera experience that are even outside of yourself, right? Yeah. So having balloons, having little tchotchkes around, that you can just pick up and play with, is a great way of having, we can call them crutches, right? Just little crutches that you can lean on if you need to. If you're in an uncomfortable situation, you want to make it fun, you've got these things around that you can play with, right? Little costume pieces, whatever it may be. There are, try to kind of set up the scene for yourself so that if you're not having fun in a given moment, you have tools available that can help you bring joy into a scene while you're on camera. I'd love to hear, so obviously, I talked about finding the joy while on camera. Yeah. I'd love to hear how you found the joy while off camera.
Yeah. One of my hobbies, I like to be active. I'm an athlete. And so like to play sports. I like to run. I like to just move my body. And I remember we went on a retreat and I brought my golf clubs. I was like, you know what? Let me just like hit some golf balls, you know, like just move and do different things. And like, I remember during the pandemic, we were in that space and they had a punching bag downstairs. And I was just like, me and Woody was wailed on this punching bag whenever we were frustrated, you know, just like get that release. And like,
I didn't know there was a punching bag.
Punching bag, Peloton.
Okay.
Nice little gym down there.
Oh, no, I ran on the treadmill.
Yeah.
I guess it never occurred to me that would be a nice outlet.
Needed it.
Yeah.
Needed it.
Huh.
Yeah. It's all the way just to get a release, you know, and just be able to enjoy stuff. I think the things that we did off camera during the pandemic, there was a lot that happened off camera during the pandemic, but like just to be able to dive into different interests and just explore the city when it was shut down was just a fun thing to be able to do that we probably wouldn't have done any other time.
All right, let's talk about some quick tips for finding the joy during the filming process. First, find ways to be spontaneous and playful with the people around you. Remember that supporting and uplifting your castmates who are also part of this strange world will make your experience more pleasurable. By bringing joy to the people around you, you'll also bring joy to yourself.
It's so simple, but also easy to forget. Make sure you find at least 30 minutes during the filming process where you're away from the cameras and able to enjoy your world. For this lesson's activity, it's really, really simple. Identify the activities that bring you joy.
For our next and final lesson, we're going to transition from the production and filming process to the experience of seeing the show released. We'll talk about coping with the noise.